Thank you very much, Leslie. Once again, doing a mighty fine job, and thank you for all of what you've been doing here, not only the announcing, but the behind the scenes, some of the work through to the office as well. So won't be long, we'll be just getting back underway. We'll have some judges here shortly. We'll get back underway, starting at 201 with Phil Collins and Bob Jane. 202 will be David Murphy and Mobile Blue Angel. Number 203, Chris Sherwood and Small Talk. And number 204, Gay McBurney with Cahoots Perfect Style. Before we get underway, I'm just going to run through a leaderboard there for you at this current stage in around over the 2 rounds of the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Campdraft Championship here for 2024. Sitting up there with the marbles at this point in time is Mr. Matthew Moffat with JMD Fascinator with a 182.67. 182.67, 2-round score. I'll tell you what, they're the marbles to chase, but also he's sitting up there with second place with Snapchat at this stage with a 181.67. Harry Steiger closely followed behind with Bell's Magic with a 179. And Mark Buttsworth with Stylish Abilene with a 178. And Ben McNaughton's Django also sitting up there with a 178.33. So there you go, they're the top 5 place getters at this point in time in the round 2, second round. The Ringers Western Gold Buckle Campdraft Championship here for 2024. Righto, straight down to business. We have competitor number 201, Phil Collins, with Bob Jane. Bob Jane's owned by the Collins and Patton partnership there. Phil Collins comes to us up from Bombala. Waiting at the gate, we will have competitor number 202, Mr. David Murphy with Mobile Blue Angel. 203, Chris Sherwood, don't be far away, with Small Talk. Once again, just a big congratulations to Wayne McDonald and his team. Like we mentioned there, and we mention it every time he dresses this ground, but built and maintains this ground here on behalf of Willinga Park and the Snow family. So a very big thank you to Macca, Wayne McDonald and his family and team that keep this as good as it is. The last competitor 201, Phil Collins, scoring a 21.67 for cutout, 62 for horsework, another 4 course points, that'll grand total 87.67 points. Put that with a 21 out of round number 1, that'll be 108.67, 2-round score there for Phil Collins and Bob Jane. You're watching it on camp now, competitor number 202, Mr. David Murphy with Mobile Blue Angel. Mobile Blue Angels, David Murphy's own nomination, and David comes up to us from Talbot. Once again, another one of these good rider horse combinations here that we see each and every year, keeps coming back. This magnificent facility in Willinga Park. Last competitor, David Murphy with Mobile Blue Angel, scoring a 22.33 for cutout, 62.67 for horsework, another 4 course points. That is an 89-point round. 89 points for round number 2 and 77.33 for round 1. David, that'll be a grand total of a 166.33, 166.33 points for Mobile Blue Angel with David Murphy aboard. Righto, you are watching in on camp now. Competitor number 203, Chris Sherwood with Small Talk. Small Talk's owned by Prue Sherwood and comes to us from Maringo. Watching outside now, Chris Sherwood with Small Talk in on the camp, please. Number 204, Gay McBurney. Waiting at the gate, number 205, Rod Jackson. Jackson's Miss Alia Akers. And number 206, Laura Hardy with Spinster's Destiny. 207, none other than John Turvey's Jess. Last competitor, Chris Sherwood with Small Talk, scoring a 20.33 for cutout, 60.67 for horsework. Another 4 course points there. That'll be a grand total of 85-point round. Put it with an 86.33 out of round number 1. That'll put you into the 170s, and it'll be a 171.33. 171.33. 2 round scores for Chris Sherwood and Small Talk. You are watching in on camp now. Competitor number 204, Gay McBurney with Cahoots Perfect Style. It's Perfect Style comes in on ownership on SKG Performance horses.
Yep.
Competitor 205, can you enter the camp? That'll be Rod Jackson with Jackson's Miss Alea Akers. 206, be at the gate, Laura Hardy with Spinster's Destiny. And 207, John Turvey with Jess. 208, Sarah Cookson with Telesam Smooth. Last competitor, competitor 204, Gay McBurney with Cahoots Perfect Style, scoring a 19 for cutout, 52.33 for horsework, 3 course points, grand total of 74.33. Put it with a 20 out of round number 1, that'll be a 94.33 2-round score. Hello, you're watching now, competitor number 205, Rod Jackson with Jackson's Miss Alea Akers. Rod comes to us from Stacey's Bridge. Waiting at the gate, we will have competitor number 206, Laura Hardy with Spinster's Destiny. John Turvey, you're number 207. Don't be far away with Jess, please. Last competitor, Rod Jackson, with Jackson's Mr. Layer Acres, scoring a 21 for cutout, 59.33 for horsework, 4 course points. It'll be an 84.33. Put it with a 20.67 out of round number 1. That'll be a 105. 105, 2-round score for Rod Jackson. In on camp, you're watching 206, Laura Hardy with Spinster's Destiny. Spinster's Destiny is owned by the Hardy family and comes in there from Warren, Western New South Wales. And as we mentioned there before, this evening, guys, that cutout qualifier will commence this evening between 6:30 and 7. Between 6:30 this afternoon. This is always a great event, so grab yourself a drink and come on over to the stands if you're not competing, because it's always a very exciting event, and get behind your nominated horses. Laura Hardy and Spinster's Destiny scoring a 20.33 for cutout, 60.33 for horsework, another 4 course points. That'll be an 84.66 round. Put it with a 19.33 from yesterday, and that will be a 104. 2-round score for Laura Hardy and Spinster's Destiny. You are watching one of the Willinga team here this afternoon. Competitor 207, Mr. John Turvey, riding Jess. Jess is John's own nomination, and as mentioned there, John comes down from St George. Been giving a hand right through the weekend and leading up to this event. So a big thank you to John. In on camp though, however, we have now Sarah Cookson with "Tell Us I'm Smooth." Competitor number 207, John Turvey and Jess, scoring a 21.67 for cutout, 62 points for horsework, 4 course points. That'll be an 87.67 round there, John. Put it with an 87.67 yesterday, my friend. That'll put you right up there with a 175.33. So 175.33 for John Turvey and Jess. You are watching In on Camp now. Competitor number 208. Sarah Cookson with "Tell Us I'm Smooth." "Tell Us I'm Smooth" is a Willinga Park nomination, and Sarah comes down to us from Duran Bandy. Our last competitor with the Willinga Park nomination, "Tell Us I'm Smooth," Sarah Cookson, scoring a 21.67 for cutout, 62 for horsework, a 4 course points. That'll be an 87.67. Put it with an 87 out of round number 1, Cooko. That'll be a 174.67, 174.67, 2-round score. You are now watching competitor number 209, Matthew Holtz with Ananda Last Frontier. Nonda Last Frontier is owned by Graham and Jody Rosinski, and Matt comes up to us from Jindira. Previous Gold Buckle winner here, you're watching outside now. Doing his best to try and make another one for the shelf. And that'll help. Last competitor, 209, Matt Holtz, and under the last frontier, scoring 22 for cutout, 63 for horsework, another 4 course points. That's an 89-point round. Put it with an 88.66 out of round number 1. That'll be 177.67. 177.67 points for Matt Holtz, and on to the last frontier. You're watching now. It's Troy Palmer. He's competitor number 210 with Binia, Idaho. Binia, Idaho is owned by Troy and Fee Palmer. They're obviously coming down from Cooler. Next in the camp will be number 211, Dean Rogers with Darley Sweet Chili. 212 will be out, so we'll remove a beast, and then it'll be 213, Harry Hogan and Heatwave. 214, Mark Buttsworth, Don't Be Far Away with Pep's Double Ray, and Lucas Roberts. You are number 215 with Seco. Troy and P. Palmer's nomination there in Binia, Idaho, scoring a 21 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework, another 4 course points. That's an 87.33 round. Put it with a 20 out of round number 1, my friend. That'll be a 107.33. You are watching now competitor number 211, Dean Rogers with Darley Sweet Chili. Owned by Lee Rogers, and Dean Lee come up from Bega. Now we will have competitor number 212 is not here. So we'll go straight on with 213, Harry Hogan and Heat Wave. 214, Mark Buttsworth, you be ready with Pep's Double Rain. 215, Lucas Robertson Seco, and number 216, Zane Haberman, Riding Silk. Time. So that was competitor number 211, Dean Rogers. 212 is not here, so we'll go straight on with Harry Hogan. You are number 213. We had a scratching there, gentlemen. 212 is not here, so Harry Hogan is 213 with his nomination in Heat Wave. 214, Mark Buttsworth, you be ready with Pep's Double Ray. Competitor number 211, Dean Rogers with Darley Sweet Chili, scoring a 22.67 for cutout, 55.67 for horsework, 3 course points, round score 81.34. Put it with an 89.67 out of round number 1. That'll be a 171. 171, 2-round score for Dean Rogers and Darley Sweet Chili. For those of you watching at home, we do have a scratching, so just to make this equal and fair right the way through the whole program, they just remove one beast. And then we'll carry on with competitor number 213, Harry Hogan, with his nomination in Heatwave. Heatwave is owned by Kim Hogan, and Harry Hogan comes down from Hallsville. We'll grab you a score there in just a moment. Harry, actually, it's just come through, my friend. Better number 213, Harry Hogan and Heat Wave, scoring a 13.67 for cutout. Put it with the 22 out of round number 1. That'll be a 35.67. You are watching outside now. Competitor number 214, Mr. Mark Buttsworth with Pep's Double Ray. This is Mark's own nomination, and as we all know, Mark makes the journey down from Kingaroy. In on camp, selecting the cow though, should be 215, Lucas Roberts with Seiko. Number 216, Zane Haberman, you be ready at the gate with Silk. And John Templeton, don't be far away. You're number 217 with Salt and Cat. Mark Buttsworth with Pep's Double Ray, scoring a 23 for cutout, 62 for horsework, another 4 course points. That's another 89-point round. Put it with an 89.33 out of round number 1. That's a nice, healthy score of a 178.33. 178.33 for Mark Buttsworth and Pep's Double Ray. The last competitor 215, Lucas Roberts with Seiko, scoring 21.67 for cutout. Put it with an 86 out of round number 1. That'll be a 107.67. 107.67 points, Lucas Roberts and Seiko. You are now watching In on Camp now, competitor number 216. Zane Haberman with Silk. Silk's owned by Lindy Thompson, and Zane comes to us down from Springshaw. Again, another one of these fine jockeys. Very familiar with this ground. Unfortunately, Jane, all we can do today is a 22 points. Put it with an 83, though, from round number 1, my friend. That'll give you 105, 2-round score. In on camp now, you're watching competitor number 217, John Templeton with Salt and Cat. 218, Matt Durkin, twice more. 219, Alana Chamberlain with Smart Spinning Aces. And number 220, Sarah Nichols with Tap Dancing Queen. And number 221, Leah Whitehead and Leonie Jane. 222, Matthew Moffat with She Be a Cat. Currently watching John Templeton with Salt and Cat, owned by Jeremy Storia. John comes to us down from Kingaroy. Last competitor number 217, John Templeton with Salt and Cat, scoring a 21.67 for cutout, 62 for horsework. Another 4 course points, that'll be an 87.67 round. Put it with an 87.66 from round number 1. That'll be a 175.33. 175.33 for John Templeton with Salt and Cat. Watching In on camp now, competitor number 218. Matt Durgan with Twice More, writing his own nomination, and Matt comes to us down from Tamworth, the country music capital of Australia. And just those of you who'd like to keep a few statistics, like to keep a bit of an eye on how you're travelling, there are 86 competitors that currently have 160 points or better at this stage, with still 150 competitors left to go in this round number 2. So some fine camp drafting, and once again a big thank you to the Willinga Pastoral team for the livestock right throughout the week here, and the facilities offered here by Willinga Park and the Snow family. Competitor 218, Matt Durkin with twice more, scoring a 16.33 for cutout, 55.67 for the horsework. Another 3 course points there, Matt. Grand total, 75. Put the 75 with a 22.33, and that'll give you a grand total of 97.33. 97.33 points for Matt Durkin and twice more. You're watching it on camp now. Competitor number 219, Alana Chamberlain with Smart Spin Aces. Smart Spin and Aces is owned by the Chamberlain family, and they come up to us here from Bombala. So in on camp now, we will require Sarah Nichols. You are number 220 with Tap Dancing Queen. 221, Leah Whitehead with Leonie Jane. Number 222, Matt Moffat with Shibia Cat. 223, Gus Malone and Miss Ivory. Previous competitor number 219, Alana Chamberlain with Smart Spin and Aces, scoring a 20 for cutout, 56.33 worth of horsework. Another 3 course points, that'll be a 79.33 round. Put it with a 20.67 out of round number 1. That is a nice even score of 100 points. 2-round score for Alana Chamberlain and Smart Spin and Aces. You are currently watching in the camp, competitor number 220, Sarah Nichols with Tap Dancing Queen. Waiting at the gate, we should have 221, Lee Whitehead with Leonie Jane. 222, Matt Moffat, don't be far away, with Shibia Cat. And 223, Gus Malone with Miss Ivory. 224, Chrissy French with Cat Zaza. Number 220, Sarah Nichols with Tap Dancing Queen, scoring a 15.33 for cutout. Put it with a 21 out of round number 1. That'll be a 36.33. 36.33 points. Sarah Nichols, Tap Dancing Queen. You are watching in on camp now. Competitor number 221, Lee Whitehead. Riding Leonie Jane. Leonie Jane's owned by Jan and Jeffrey Porges from Cootamundra. Last competitor, Lee Whitehead with Leonie Jane, scoring a 15 for cutout, 60 for horsework, 4 course points, 79 points, 79. Put it with an 86 out of round number 86.33, excuse me, out of round number 1. That'll be a 165.33 points for Lee Whitehead. In on camp now, we have Mr. Matthew Moffat. It's competitor number 222, riding She Be a Cat. She Be a Cat is Matt's own nomination. Matt's certainly making a name for himself out down here this week. Very much in form. In on camp, please. Number 223, Gus Malone, Miss Ivory. 224, Chrissy French with Cat Zaza. Number 225, Chris Nicholson with Brave You, King's Ransom. And number 226, Catherine Hengsberger with Bridie. Well, Matthew, that'll be a 22.67 for a cutout, a 62.67 for horsework, another 4 course points. That'll be another 89.34 round. That'll put that with a 91 out of round number 1. That is a 180.33 for Matt Moffat with She Be a Cat. Just if you're interested, my friend, that'll put you up in 3rd place behind yourself and yourself. We had number 223, Gus Malone with Miss Ivory, scoring a 15 points for cutout. 15 points. Put it with an 82.33. Will be a 97.33 points for Gus Malone and Miss Ivory. In on camp now, we should have competitor number 224, Chrissy French with Cat Zaza. Chrissy comes to us from Nimberdabell. Waiting at the gate, we will have number 225, Chris Nicholson with Brave You, King's Ransom. 226, Catherine Hensberger with Bridie. Number 227, Zoe Willis with Harmony Acres. 228, Cameron Webster with Clifford. And 229, Hugh Miles. And time's up. And 230, Jay Sharnock with A Little Smart Cat. Last competitor number 224, Chrissy French with Cat Zaza, scoring a 20-point cutout. Put it with a 21 out of round number 1. That'll be a 41 2-round score. Righto, in on camp now, 225, Chris Nicholson with Brave You, King's Ransom. Chris Nicholson comes down to us from Maria. Waiting at the gate will be 226, Catherine Hensberger with Bridie. 227, Zoe Willis. Don't be far away with your nomination in Harmony Acres. So once again, for those of you watching from home, there we just had a little moment there. We changed the yard of cattle, and Chris was the beneficiary of a brand new yard of cattle. So they do that every 25 runs, just to keep the cattle fresh and even for all competitors right through the whole 368 runs. Last competitor number 225, Chris Nicholson with Braveview Kings Ransom, scoring a 14 points for cutout, 62.67 for horsework, another 4 course points, grand total 80.67. Put it with a 20 out of round number 1, that'll be 100.67, 2-round score. You are watching now in the camp, competitor number 226, Catherine Hensberger with Variety. In on the camp now, we should have competitor number 227, Zoe Willis with Harmony Acres getting ready. And 228, Cameron Webster with Clifford. 229, Hugh Miles and Time's Up. And number 230, Jay Sharnock with a Little Smart Cat. 231, Bruce Adele and Scarlett. And 232, Scott Bandy with Hazelwood Weapon. As we mentioned there before, there will be the cutout qualifier here this evening, commencing at 6:30 p.m. So grab yourself a seat and come down. It's always an exciting event. That will be the qualifier, the cutout qualifier, and it will commence at 6:30 p.m. here. So if you're not riding in it, grab yourself a drink or something to eat and come on down and spectate that. It's always a great event this evening. Last competitor number 226, Catherine Hensberger with Variety, scoring at 16.33 for cutout, 60 for horsework, another 4 course points. It's an 80.33 round. 80.33, put it with an 81, that'll be a 161.33. You are now watching outside Zoe Willis as competitor number 227, riding Harmony Acres. So he's riding Jeff and Sue Willis's nomination, and they come up from Ladysmith. Again, trying to put another score, try and get a double score on the field. And there you go, and that's how you do it. Zoe Willis and Harmony Acres scoring a 20.67 for cutout, 60.33 for horsework, a 4 course points, an 85-point round. Put it with an 89.34 out of round number 1. That'll be a 174.33. A 174.33, 2-round score for Zoe Willis and Harmony Acres. You're watching outside now. Competitor number 228, Cameron Webster, riding a Clifford. Clifford belongs to Kelly Bond. Cameron comes to us from Wandawan. We'll get you a camp score in there in just a moment, Cameron. In the meantime, we will have competitor number 229, Mr. Hugh Miles, with Peter Schumach's nomination in Time's Up. If I'm not corrected, I think this particular horse won the cutout here yesterday. With a 24-point cutout. Competitor number 228, Cameron Webster and Clifford, scoring a 21.33 for cutout. Put it with an 87.66 out of round number 1. That'll be a 109, 2-round score. 109, 2-round score for Cameron Webster and Clifford. You're currently watching in the camp and up the front of the yard. A time's up with Hugh Miles. Hugh, as we know, comes down from Tamworth. While Hugh's got everything under control out there, we'll move into camp with 230. Jay Sharnock with a little smart cat. Bruce O'Dell, you're number 231 with Scarlett. Number 232, Scott Bandy. Don't be far away, my friend, with Hazelwood Weapon. Well, we said watch that horse in the yard, and I tell you what, a 24.67 cutout, 63.33 were the horse worker, 4 course points. That is a 92-point round for Time's Up and Hugh Miles. That's Peter Schumach's nomination in Time's Up with Hugh Miles aboard. Put the 92 with a 24 out of round number 1, my friend. That's a 116. You are watching now competitor number 230, Jay Sharnock with a little smart cat. Number 231, Bruce Adele and Scarlett onto the camp, please. 232, Scott Bandy, you be ready with Hazelwood Weapon. Jay Sharnock with a little smart cat, scoring a 17.67 for the cutout. Put it with a 21.33 out of round number 1. That's a 39-point round. 2-round score, 39 points. You are watching now in on the camp, selecting the bees, number 231. Bruce Adele with Scarlett. Scott Bandy, you're next in. You're number 232 with Hazelwood Weapon. 233, Ben Madem with E.V. Costa. And 234, Josh Gibson and Lebron. And number 235, Harry Steiger with Hazelwood, Cole Chisholm. Number 236 will be Woodrow Dow with a Razor 49er. And number 237, Harley McKilvin with KP High Drive Fit. Previous competitor Bruce Adele with Scarlett scoring a 23-point cutout. Put it with a 21.33 out of round number 1. That'll be a 44.33, a 2-round score. Bruce Adele, 44.33. Watching in on camp now, competitor number 232, Mr. Scott Bandy. With Travis Bandy's nomination in Hazelwood Weapon. Scott and Travis come to us from Tooma. Waiting at the gate, we will have competitor number 233, Ben Madem with E.V. Costa. Number 234, Josh Gibson and Leberon. Number 235, Harry Steger with Hazelwood, Cole Chisholm. Tomorrow's program will include at 8:30 a.m. We'll proceed at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow with the ladies' dash for cash. Closely followed, we'll do the arena raking after that, and then we'll be commencing the Gold Buckle semi-final. Scott Bandy and Hazelwood Weapon scoring a 21 for cutout, 58.67 for horsework, another 4 course points, 83.67. Put it with a 21 out of round number 1, that's a 104.67. Watching outside now, competitor number 233, Ben Maidham with E.V. Costa. E.V. Costa comes to us from Andrew and Carolyn Burns. And Ben's made the trick down here from Bective, just west of Tamworth. Just while we're rating on the score there, we'll just run through that. Tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m, we will have the Ladies Dash for Cash, followed by the Gold Buckle semi-final. And then we will have the Ladies Dash for Cash, a finalist ceremony, and then we will have the final for the Ladies Dash for Cash and the presentation, and then we'll go on with a stallion draft and presentation. And then last up tomorrow evening, we will have the cutout final as well. So a very full day of exciting events there tomorrow, right from the start at the Ladies Dash for Cash and right through to the cutout finals there tomorrow evening. Ben Maidham scoring with E.V. Costa scoring 22.33 for cutout, 62.67 for horsework, another 4 course points. That's an 89-point round for E.V. Costa and Ben Maidham. Put it with a 21.33 out of round number 1, that's a 110.33. You're watching outside now, competitor number 234, Josh Gibson with Lebron. We do thank Josh, he's one of our valued partners and sponsors here from Foresight. So big thank you to the Foresight team and Josh. Previous competitor Josh Gibson with Lebron scoring a 15 for cutout, 61 for horsework, another 4 course points. That's an 80-point round. Put it with the 88 out of round number 1. That's a 168. 2-round score, 168 for Josh Gibson's Lebron. Righto, now competitor number 235, Harry Starger with Hazelwood Cold Chisel. Harry comes down from Camberwell. Waiting at the gate, we will have competitor number 236, Woodrow Dow with a Razor 49er. And number 237 will be Harley McElveen with KP High Drive Fin. And number 238, Pete Comiskey with the Avon Smooth Sailing. 239 will be Mackenzie Dunn with Bob.
Woodrow. Yeah, Woodrow. That was 36 went in. Next, and then 3.
Last competitor, number 235, Harry Steele with Hazelwood Cold Chisel scoring a 16-point cutout, 58.67 for the horsework, another 4 course points. That's a 78.67. Put it with a nice healthy 88 out of round number 1. That's a 166.67. 2-round score for Harry Steger and Hazelwood Cold Chisel. You're watching in camp now, number 236, Woodrow Dow with a Razor 49er. Woodrow comes down from Manila, just north of Tamworth. In on the camp, we will require number 237, Harley McElveen with KP, a High Drive Fin. 238, Pete Comiskey, don't be far away. You need to be riding a Avon Smooth Sailing. Woodrow Dow with the Razor 49, scoring a 22.67 for cutout. Put it with a 16 out of round number 1. That'll be a 38.67 score. Righto, 2:37. Now you're watching Harley McElveen with KP High Drive Finn. KP High Drive Finn is owned by Wade and Harley McElveen, and they're also from Manila. Entering the yard, we will have competitor number 238, Pete Comiskey. Can you be in there with the Avon Smooth Sailing? And 239, Mackenzie Dunn with Bob B at the gate. Number 240, Karen Gardner with Cahoots Black Betty. Don't be far away. Number 241, Carl Green and Gazelle. Harley McElveen with KP High Drive Finn. Scoring an 18.33 for cutout. Unfortunately, no further points from yesterday, so 18.33 is your score. In on camp now, competitor number 238, Pete Comiskey, Avon Smooth Sailing. Waiting at the gate, we will have 239, Mackenzie Dunn with Bob, 240, Karen Gardner, don't be far away, with Cahoots Black Betty, and 241, Carl Green and Gazelle. Previous competitor, Pete Comiskey with the Avon Smooth Sailing, scoring 12 points for cutout, 61.67 for horsework, another 4 course points. His grand total, 77.67. Put it with the 88.33 from yesterday, and that'll be a 166 2-round score for Peter Comiskey and Avon Smooth Sailing. You're watching outside now, competitor number 239, Mackenzie Dunn, riding Bob. Bob's owned by Paul Sillis. In on the camp, we will have competitor number 240, Karen Gardner, Cahoots Black Betty. Number 241, waiting at the gate, Carl Green and Gazelle. And number 242, Lenny Hardwick with a Democracy. And 243, Ben Hall with Marnie's North. And 244, Chelsea Peacock with Kung Fu. And number 245, Mackenzie Pryor with Morin J. Romeo's Child. 246, Pat Cleaver and Howard's Ches. And number 247, Montana Chamberlain, riding Caddy. Previous competitor, competitor number 239, Mackenzie Dunn and Bob, scoring a 19 points for cutout, 59.67 for horsework. Another 4 course points. That's an 82.67. Put it with an 81 out of round number 1, and that'll mean Bob's got a 163.67 points. In on camp now, you're watching competitor number 240, Karen Gardner with Cahoots Black Betty. Karen Gardner and Cahoots Black Betty scoring a 19.33 for the cutout. Put it with a 15 out of round number 1. That's a 34.33. A 2-round score for Karen Gardner and Cahoots Black Betty. You're watching in camp now, competitor number 241, Carl Green riding Gazelle. Gazelle's owned by Jake Marshall, and Carl comes to us down from Walker.
Hang on, mate. Hang on.
Next in the camp will be number 242, Lenny Hardwick with Democracy. 243, Ben Hall, Don't Be Far Away with Marnie's North. And 244, Chelsea Peacock with Con Fu. 245, Mackenzie Pryor and Moran J, Romeo's Child. 246, Pat Cleaver's Howard's Chess. Carl Green and Gazelle scoring a 15.67 for cutout. Put it with an 86 out of round number 1. That's a 101.67 there, Carl. 101.67 for Carl Green and Gazelle. In on camp now, competitor number 242, be Lenny Hardwick with Democracy. And he comes up to us from Hawthorn. Waiting at the gate will be 243, Ben Hall, Marnie's North. You're next in, my friend. And number 244 will be Chelsea Peacock and Kung Fu. You're watching outside, competitor number 242, Lenny Hardwick, with her nomination in Democracy. Looks at this stage, she's got things under control. That'll be time. Lenny Hardwick with Democracy scoring a 19.33 for cutout, 52 for horsework, another 3 course points there, Lenny. That'll be a 74.33 round. Put it with an 86.67 out of round number 1, and that'll be a 161 2-round score. 161 for Lenny Hardwick and Democracy. You're watching in camp now, Marnie's North and Ben Hall. Marnie's North owned by Damien Kerr, and Ben comes to us down from Julia Creek. Ben Hall and Marnie's North scoring a 19. A 15, correction. 15.67 for cutout. 63.33 for horsework. Another 4 course points. That's an 83-point round. If we put that with the 87.67 out of round number 1, that is a 170.67. 170.67 points for Ben Hall and Marnie's North. You're watching outside now, 2:44, Chelsea Peacock and Con Fu. Con Fu is owned by the Peacock family and they come across to us from Dubbo in central western New South Wales. In on the camp, selecting their cow will be number 245, Mackenzie Pryor with Moran J. Romeo's Child. Number 246, Pat Cleaver, you be at the gate, please, with Howard's Ches. And number 247, Montana Chamberlain and Caddy. 248, Troy Palmer's Blue Turns. And 249, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks Editor. Competitor number 244, Chelsea Peacock and Con Fu, scoring a 22 cutout, 59.67 for the horsework, another 4 course points, that's an 85.67. Put it with a 22 out of round 1, that's a 107.67. 107.67 for Chelsea Peacock and Con Fu. You're watching outside now. Competitor number 245, Mackenzie Pryor with Moran J's Romeo's Child. Romeo's Child's a Willinga Park nomination. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how it works. That was Mackenzie Pryor with Moran J. Romeo's Child. We'll get you a score there in just a moment, but in the meantime, we'll get 246, Pat Cleaver on the camp, please. Howard's Ches, and number 247, Montana Chamberlain. You be at the gate with Caddy. Troy Palmer, don't be far away. You're number 248 with Blue Tunes. Mackenzie Pryor scoring a 19.67 for cutout, 62 for horsework, another 4 course points. That'll be an 85.67 round. 85.67, put it with a 72.67, will be a 158.33. 158.33 points for Mackenzie Pryor and Moran J. Romeo's Child. Number 246 now, Pat Cleaver with Howard's Ches. That comes down to us from Nimmitabel. In on the camp, we will require number 247, Montana Chamberlain. Troy Palmer, you be at the gate, please, at 248 with Blue Turns. Pat Cleaver and Howard Ches scoring an 18.33 for cutout, 55.33 for horsework, another 3 course points. That'll be a grand total, 76.66. Put it with the 78.67 from yesterday, and that'll be a 155.33. You're watching outside now, competitor number 247, Montana Chamberlain with Caddy. Caddy's owned by Clive Cotterill, and Montana comes up to us from Bombala. In on the camp now, selecting his beast will be number 248, Mr. Troy Palmer, and a Troy and Fees nomination in Blue Tunes. But you are currently watching outside Montana Chamberlain and Caddy. That'll be time. Last competitor number 247, Montana Chamberlain and Caddy, scoring a 19 points for Caddy. 51 for horsework, another 3 course points. That's a 73-point round. Put it with a 20 out of round number 1. That's a 93.2 round score. 93 points for Montana Chamberlain and Caddy. You're watching in on camp now. None other than Mr. Troy Palmer at competitor number 248, riding his nomination, his and Fee's nomination in Blue Tunes. Waiting at the gate, number 249, Rowan Marks and Turner Marks. Editor, number 250, Peter Bolton and Sweet Romance. Last competitor number 248, Troy Palmer and Blue Tunes, with another full round score. 23.33 for cutout, 61.33 for horsework, another 4 course points, Troy. That's an 88.66 round. Put it with the 89 out of round number 1, and that will be a 177.67 points. 177.67 points for Blue Tunes and Troy Palmer. You're watching Go Outside now. Competitor number 249, Rowan Marks and Turner Marks, editor. 250 will be Peter Bolton with Sweet Romance. Number 251, Matt Oakley with hashtag Final. And number 252, Fee Palmer, riding Binia Lorena. 253 will be Toby Roth and Holly. And number 254, Paige Nankara with Consistently Stylish. Previous competitor number 249, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks, editor, scoring a 22.33 for the cutout, 63.67 for horsework, another 4 course points, and that is a neat 90-point round. Put it with a 91 out of round number 1, and that's a 181. 181, neat score, over 2 rounds for Rowan Marks and Turner Marks, editor. Number 250, Peter Bolton and Sweet Romance, then we will have a change in cattle. Bad luck there for Peter Bolton. Peter Bolton and Sweet Romance goes out with a no score. However, my friend, you get to keep the 90.33. You add out of round number 1. When the camp is clear, we will require a fresh shot of cattle. And we'll move on with Matt Oakley at 251, hashtag Finale. We'll also hand over to Mr. Glenn Morgan. He'll carry on for the next hour or so.
We're back. Well, on camp, ladies and gentlemen, we are back underway with contestant 251. This is Matt Oakley, hashtag finale. Casey Stoner's nomination. Matt joins us from Walker in the northern New England region of New South Wales. He'll be followed into camp with 252 Fiona Palmer, Binia Lorena, and 253 Toby Rope with Holly. Unfortunately, that'll be a camp score. Only Matt Oakley. 252 at the gate, please. Fiona Palmer with Binia Lorena. 253 Toby Rope and 254 Paige Nanakara. Constantly stylish. Unfortunately for Fiona Palmer, she'll take her first round score of 19.33. Just while we get set for our next contestant, a very special thanks to Foresight. Foresight are the season and principal partners, providing quality joint supplements for not only our equine and canine friends, but also for us as humans. You can scan the QR code around the venue for your chance to win the ultimate Foresight and Osteo Restore joint support package valued at over $2,500. They're a principal partner of our Willinga Park Ringers Western Wear Gold Buckle Campdrafting Championship. Our attention turning down to the next contestant on camp. This will be Toby Rope, contestant 253. Makes his home at Barrel, riding Holly. 254, Paige Nankara will be at the gate with Constantly Stylish from Camberdown. And 255, Andrew Turvey. 256 is Ian Hengsberger. We have a camp score of 19.67 for Toby with a first round score of 15.33. Grand total of 35.35. Contestant on camp, contestant 254, is Constantly Stylish, ridden by Paige Nankara from Cambertown. 255 at the gate will be Andrew Turvey with Cats and Roses. 256, Ian Hengsberger. And 257, not too far away, Bronnie Pottigan with Tunga Chrome will be our next contestants running forward.
Come down with you, Andrew. Come down. Control up there, eh?
We're watching on course. This is Cambertown contestant Paige Nankara riding Constantly Stylish. We followed into the camp by Andrew Turvey, 255, Ian Hengsberger, 256, and Bronnie Pottigan at 257. Just a reminder, competitors, at 6:30 tonight, we've got the cutout qualifier round. Great opportunity to secure a place in the finals. It'll be staged, of course, the big cutout final at 6 o'clock on Friday evening. Always a showcase event of our Willinga competition. We're watching on camp as we speak. This is 255. Andrew Turvey with Cats and Roses. Andrew down from Wandoan. Part of our special weekend of competition. Paige's score is through. We had a camp score of 22.33. 63.3 for horsework, 4 for course. Grand total in this round of 89.66. With a first round score of 77.67. That's a 167.33. Contestant through the gate on that occasion was Cats and Roses, competitor 255 from Wandoan. That was Andrew Turvey. Andrew Turvey's scores comes through on Cats and Roses. We've got 23.33 for camp, 63.67 for horsework, 4 for course. Grand total today of 91. Had a first round score of 16.33, 107.33 over the 2 rounds for Andrew Turvey. On course, we're watching 256. This is Kirby Stud Conspiracy, ridden in this round of the competition by Ian Henksberger. Makes his home in Dumbolt North. Scores have come through for Kirby Stud Conspiracy and Henksberger. We've got a camp score of 21.33, 58.67 for horsework, 3 for course. Total today of 83, with a 73 first round yesterday. It's a 156 over the 2 qualifying rounds, 156. We're watching on camp Ronnie Parikim riding Tunga Chrome at 257, 258 back at the gate will be John Mulcahy. 259 Luke Hardwick and 260 Mark Buttsworth. On course in the main arena, Brian Parikim riding Tunga Chrome, 257 in the draw. 258 making his way to the camp will be John Mulcahy with Stratton TR. 259 is Luke Hardwick and 260 Mark Buttsworth. Time. Brioni's score comes through with Tunga Chrome. It is 16.67 for cutout, 54 for horsework, 3 for course. Today 73.67 with a first round score yesterday of 21.33. It's a grand total of 95. We're watching on camp as we speak. John Mulcahy, number 258, riding Stratton Tenaya. 259 to make his way into the camp now. Luke Hardwick with the Braze Dolly and 260 Mark Buttsworth. John Mulcahy is one of our visitors down interstate from Roma, riding Stratton's Tenaya. Have a camp score of 21.33. Had a first round camp score of 18. That's 39.33 for John. On camp, we're watching Luke Hardwick back in action once again. Luke Hardwick joins us from Cotslow, all the way from Western Australia. Riding a little horse called Braze Dolly. That was indeed 2:59 for our interstate visitor all the way from Western Australia. Luke Hardwick has a camp score today of 21.67. Camp score of 21.67. First round score of 86.67. Grand total for Luke Hardwick of 108.33. We're watching on the course this time. It'll be Mark Buttsworth back in action once again. Butsy's on John Farnham's nomination, Granny's Rocks. Mark joins us from Kingaroy, a long way from home, and certainly enjoys his opportunities here at Willinga. He'll be followed into camp by Matthew Moffat, Ray Alley Cat, 261. 262, Hugh Miles will be back, and at Luke Morgan at 263. And there was another completed full course on that occasion for Mark Buttsworth with Granny's Rocks. 261 on to the camp, Matthew Moffin, Hoorays Alley Cat. Scores have just come through for Mark Buttsworth. We've got in this round camp score of 22.33. 61 for horsework, 4 for course. Today is 87.33. Back it up with an 87.34 yesterday. It's a 174.67. 174.67 for Mark Buttsworth and Granny's Rocks. 261 on camp. We're watching Matthew Moffat once again back in action. Had a busy weekend in competition so far. Riding K&E Hanrahan's nomination. Hoorays Alley Cat. Makes his home in Cabra. There it is, another full course in the competition. Matthew Moffat, Hoorays Alley Cat. Into the camp, we want 262, Hugh Miles. With Honey There Aiken. 263, the gate will be Luke Morgan. And 264, Lloyd Aquilina. Scores coming through for Hoorays Alley Cat, Matthew Moffat. We've got a 22.67 into camp, 62.67 horsework, 4 for course. Today it's an 89.34. Yesterday it was 89. 178.33 aggregate score. We're watching on the course at this stage. That was in action, Hugh Miles with Honey There Aiken. Today Hugh was on Peter Noonan's nomination. Honey There Aiken. Scores have come through. It's a 22.33 for Hugh Miles. 22.33. Yesterday it was 86.67. 109. We're watching on course this time in the camp. 263. Luke Morgan on Livy. Into the camp, we'll have Lloyd Aquilina, Smart Metallica. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from Tamworth was Luke Morgan riding Livy, 263 in the competition. 264, Lloyd Aquilina in the camp with Smart Metallica. 265, Josh Barnett with Simply Irreductible. And 266, we'll be back with John Mitchell. Scores come through in this round for Luke Morgan and Livy. We've got a 21.33 for camp, 62 points for horsework, 4 for course. Today's score, it's an 87.33. Had a yesterday 84.66. Grand total today, it's 172. Next into the competition camp, 264. We welcome back from Markwell. This is Lloyd Aquilina's nomination, Smart Metallica. Following on at the gate, we want Josh Barnett with Simply Irreductible and 266, Miss Heart Acre. We're watching on course this time. It'll be Lloyd Aquilina, Smart Metallica, 264 in the competition. Fortunately for Lloyd, he will take a camp score only. We'll want 265 on camp. Josh Barnett, Simply Irreductible. 266, John Mitchell, and 267. We rounded out with David Thorne, not all that far away. The camp score comes through for Lloyd Aquilina, Smart Metallica. We've got a camp score of 12, had a 19.33 yesterday. It's a 31.33. We turn our attention to Singleton for our next contestant. This will be Josh Barnett. Josh Barnett and Rebecca Roberts nomination, Simply Irreductible. 265 on course at this stage. Into the camp, we want John Mitchell with Miss Heart Acre. And another full course in this round of our competition. We are currently watching the second go-round of the Ringers Western Wear Gold Buckle Campdrafting Championship. Here at Willinga at 368 competitors in total. That was Josh Barnett at 265. Simply Irreductible. Scores come through for Josh. 22.33 for cutout, 62 points for horsework, 4 for course. Today's score, it's an 88.33, gives him a 83.33 in the first round. We've got a grand total of 171.67 for Josh Barnett, 171.67 for Josh Barnett. Back in action in the camp, 266, it's John Mitchell joins us this time with his nomination, Miss Heart Acre. Miss Heart Acre and John Mitchell make their home at Tooma, the high mountain country here in the Southern Highlands. We'll have into the camp Mr. David Thorne, 267 next. Followed on 268, Mark Schultz, and 269 will be Amy Jemison. And once again, the cattle flowing here this afternoon in this round of our competition. Some brilliant performances and a very special thanks to the Willinga Pastoral Company. The absolutely brilliant lines of Angus cattle yesterday. The Herefords every bit as good today from Hillview. And of course, our scores are a reflection of the livestock and cattle that we have before us here this weekend. Scores come through for John Mitchell and Miss Heart Acre. Let's check. We've got a 21.33 for camp. 63.33 for horsework, 4 for course. Today's score is 88.66. Backs it up with the first round score yesterday of 89. Grand total of 177.67. 177.67 for John Mitchell and Miss Hart Acre. We're watching On Course and into the arena. This is 267, David Thorne's nomination. Sorta Smooth. Tracy and Kirk Nicholson's horse from Wallandine. David Thorne in the saddle at 267. Well, unfortunately for David in this round of our competition, had a camp score yesterday of 22.67, and it'll be another camp score here today. Camp score of 14, back with a 22.67 yesterday, 36.67 for Sorta Smooth and David Thorne. Let's go to our next contestant. This is Mark Schultz. Joins us from Borough. It's his nomination. She's Reality Check. Followed into the camp by 269, Amy Jamison. 270 is Ken Bolton and 271, Jason Penny. Well, it's going to be a camp score, and fortunate enough for Mark Schultz, a camp score only. The camp score of 18.33 for Mark. 18.33 with She's Reality Check. Had an 85 in the first round. Gives us a grand total of 103.33 for Mark Schultz, and She's a Reality Check. Let's turn our attention to 269 in the competition. This is Amy Jamison's nomination, CD. Makes a home at Gowrie on the south side of Tamworth, a beautiful part of the region. And we'll be followed into the camp by 270 Ken Bolton, Vienna, 271 Jason Penny, 272 will be Kim Stocks. Okay, on the camp at this stage, this is Ken Bolton with Vienna, contestant number 270. The scores through for Amy Jamison. We've got a camp score of 21 for Amy, 59.33 for horsework, 4 for course. Today's score, 84.33. Had a 22 in the first round, 106.33. As Ken Bolton lines up to the gate. 271 in camp next time. It'll be Jason Penny with Miss Scarlet Acre. 272 is Kim Stocks with Sweet Dream. And we'll look for 273, not far off, is Wade McElveen. Scores have come through for Vienna and Ken Bolton. We've got a 21.67 camp, 56.67 for horsework, 3 for course. Today's score, it's an 81.34. Yesterday in the opening round, it was 84.33 for a grand total of 165.67. 165.67 for Ken Bolton and Vienna. We're watching 271 In the camp, Jason Penny. Jason Penny joins us from Gunnedah these days, riding his nomination, Miss Scarlet Acre. Kim Cox, 272 at the camp, please, Kim, with Sweet Dream, and 273, Wade McElveen. Score comes through in this round for Jason Penny, Miss Scarlet Acre. We've got a camp score of 15.67. Had a camp score yesterday of 21. Gives us a grand total of 36.67. 36.67. We are rolling on down the list, and contestant number 272 here this afternoon in the Ringers Western Wear Gold Buckle second round competition. Our attention now on Kim Stocks with Sweet Dream. 273, follow on will be Wade McElveen. 274, Ben McNaughton with Tiptoe. And 275 will be Roger Grant. We are watching on course this time. This is Kim Stocks. Makes a home in Cowra, riding her nomination, Sweet Dream. Onto the camp. Next in, we will have Wade McElveen with Smooth and Stylish Operator. And our scores come through for Kim with the Sweet Dreams. It is a camp score of 16, 59.67 for horsework, 4 for course, and it is a second round score of 79.67. Had a first round score yesterday of 22 in the camp, so that's a 101.67 for Kim Stocks and Sweet Dream. We're watching on camp 273, Wade McElveen, Smooth and Stylish Operator. Be followed by Ben McNaughton, Tiptoe. 275, Roger Grant. 276, we're down to Steve Hart, not all that far away. Contestant we're watching on the course, this is Wade McElveen's nomination. Smooth and Stylish. Wade and Harley McElveen make their home at Manila on the north side of Tamworth. A long way from home, and of course, like so many others, have travelled many, many miles to be a part of this Ringers Western Wear Gold Buckle Willinga Campdrafting competition. We'll have a camp score of 20 points for Wade McElveen. Had a first round score yesterday of 76. Grand total of 2 rounds of 96 points. On camp, we welcome back down once again from Walker, New England contestant. This will be Ben McNaughton. Ben's nomination is Tiptoe. It will be followed by 275, Roger Grant with He's a Metallic Cat. 276, Steve Hart. And then we come back to 277, Pete Comiskey. Here it is. It is on course this time. Ben McNaughton and Tiptoe. Comes from a very successful camp drafting family. Of course, his dad, Bruce, and mum, Julie, been the highest level in Australian camp drafting for many, many years. Scott now flies the flag here this weekend at Willinga. Boy, oh boy, they could be so proud of his achievements here this weekend. That was indeed Ben McNaughton with Tiptoe. Into the camp next up, we'll have Roger Grant. He's a Metallic Cat. Stephen Hart at 276. Pete Comiskey at 277. Scores are coming through for our previous competitor. That was Tiptoe and Ben McNaughton. Camp score of 19.67. Horsework 63.67. 4 for course. Today it's an 87.34. Had a round yesterday of 86. That's a 2-round score of 173.33 for Ben McNaughton and Tiptoe. Okay, we turn our attention to 275 in the draw this afternoon. It's Roger Grant. And Roger, one of our great supporters from Tamworth, from the Country Music City, riding He's a Metallic Cat at 275 in the camp. 276, we want Steve Hart to be ready, please, Steve, with Yavin Smooth Spin. 277, Pete Comiskey. And 278 will be Greg Charlson. We'll have a camp score shortly for Roger Grant, and He's a Metallic Cat. It is a 20-point mark today, 20 in the camp. Had 18 yesterday for a grand total of 38 points. 276 as we march on through. It is Steve Hart. Joins us here this weekend. Steve comes to us from Googong. He is riding his nomination, Yavin Smooth Spin. 277 will be at the gate, Pete Comiskey with PC Polaris. 278, Greg Charlson, and 279, it'll be Mark Palmer's back with Palmer Zulu. We're watching Steve Hart in action, 276, Yavin Smooth Spin, the little horse that he rides here this afternoon. Into the camp next, we'll have Pete Comiskey, 278, Greg Charlson, 279, Mark Palmer, and then we're down to 280, it'll be Dean Rogers. And it is coming through at the right time, Steve Hart. 276, Yavin Smooth Spin. There's another one of our colossal full courses here this afternoon. 277, we see him right into the camp, Pete Comiskey with PC Polaris. 278, Greg Charlson will be at the gate with Zanzibar. And as we speak, we've got scores through for Steve Hart. It is a 22.33 for camp, 60.67 for horsework. 4 for course, grand total rounds it up at 87 here today. Had a first rounder yesterday of 17 into camp. Gives him the 2-round score of 104. 104 for Steve Hart and Yavin Smooth Spin. 277, attention now turns to Pete Comiskey. PC Polaris. Well, this is one of Pete's own breed and nomination, PC Polaris from Nebo, from Central Queensland. A long journey down as he makes each and every year. As in previous years, been a pretty financial trip for him here this weekend. Pete Comiskey. Greg Charlson into the camp with Zanzibar. Mark Palmer, 279 at the gate. 280, Dean Rogers, not that far off. And we've got that whip in the background. It is a full course once again for our Nebo friend in Mr. Pete Comiskey. PC Polaris. That was competitor 277 here this afternoon. We've got a list of about 368 contestants in total in this second round of competition. Okay, let's go through it with Pete Comiskey. 22 points for camp, 60.67 for horsework, 4 for course. Today's score 86.67. Qualified yesterday with an 83.33, 170 over the 2 rounds for Pete Comiskey, 170. Let's move on. We look down at the camp, focus on 278, Greg Charlson with Zanzibar. Greg is one of our Riverina competitors from Wagga Wagga. His own nomination in this event. He'll be followed by Mark Palmer, Dean Rogers, and Cameron Webster. Okay, we've got him on course, 278, Greg Charlson, Zanzibar in action. Into the camp, we will want on this next occasion Mark Palmer with Palmer Zulu. Followed on at the gate, 280 will be Dean Rogers, 281 Cameron Webster, 282 will be Kylie Malone. And the scores in this round are coming through thick and fast. That was Greg Charlson with Zanzibar. Greg Charlson's score is 22 points for camp, 60.67 for horsework. I do have a correction to that. The techniques have been sorted. We come back with Greg Charlson's score. I do apologise. 15 for camp, 61 points for horsework, 4 for course. Today's score is 80. At a first round score of 22.33, that's 102.33. We're watching on camp as we speak. This is Palmer Zulu. Mark Palmer in the saddle. Sally Stockwell's nomination. Mark joins us from Corindai in the northern region of the Hunter Valley in New South Wales. Another one of our third generation camp drafting competitors that have made the journey down here for around about the 4th or 5th consecutive year. Good to see the Palmer name, a symbol of the competition and level standards that we see here this year each and every weekend. Well, that's another nice run for the boy from Corindai, Mark Palmer, with Palmer Zulu, contestant 279 in the competition. We'll have scores through for Mark very shortly, but into the camp we do require contestant 280. That'll be Dean Rogers with Even Con into the camp. 281, Cameron Webster at the gate with Clarence. 282, Kylie Malone, and 283 will be Matt Holtz. Okay, scores are coming through for Mark Palmer with Palmer Zulu. 21.33 for camp, 62 points for horsework, 4 for course. Today's round is an 87.33. Had a first round yesterday of 21.33. It's a 108.67. 108.67. On course, we are watching Even Con, Dean Rogers is the contestant. Makes his home at Bega here on the south coast of New South Wales. His own nomination in this event. He'll be followed into camp by 281 Cameron Webster, 282 Kylie Malone, and 283 will be Matt Holtz. Just a reminder to all of our competitors, at 6:30 this evening, we have got the cutout qualifier. Always a very exciting and entertaining way to wind down day number 2 of competition. That's at 6:30 here this evening. Then we back it up tomorrow morning. We've got the ladies' dash for cash. First qualifying round. Runs for the first couple of hours tomorrow morning. Then we come back with the Gold Buckle semi-final round. And that's where the pressure still starts to build for the big weekend of finals coming up. That's the first 2 events on Friday the 3rd of May here at Willinga. So be up bright and early to watch the first round of the ladies' dash for cash. Scores coming through for Dean Rogers. We've got 16.33 for camp, 58.67 for horsework. 4 for course, 79 points today. Had an 85.33 yesterday. 164.33 for Dean Rogers, even con. On course, this time it's Cameron Webster back in the saddle. Joins us from Wandoan. Sarah Webster's nomination. This is Clarence. Into the camp, we do require our next contestant in the competition. Will be Matt Holtz with Shakira's Tappin'. Okay, we'll have the scores there for Cameron Webster. Looks like it is official now. 22.67 for camp, 61 points for horsework, 4 for course. Today's score, it's an 87.67. Rounded out yesterday with a 21 in the camp. It is a 2-round score of 108.67. 108.67. Down to 282 in the draw. This is Kylie Malone's nomination, Connie. She'll be followed at the gate with Matty Holtz, 283. 284 is Brendan Fitzgerald, and 285 is Philip Collins. We'll have a camp score come through on that last and previous competitor. That was Kylie Malone riding Connie. Had a camp score today of 13.33. Yesterday was a 15.67. Now we turn it to our next competitor, 283, looking down to the camp. This is Matt Holtz, joins us this time from Jindera. Riding on this occasion, Shakira's Tappin' In. 284 is Brendan Fitzgerald, 285 Philip Collins, and 286, well, welcome back Ben Maidham. Matty Holtz, contestant on course we're watching here this afternoon, a former winner of the Willinga Gold Buckle Championship here 2 years ago. It was back in about 2022, I do believe. Makes his home these days at Dindra, and he is representing Corryong Pastoral Company nomination. And that will complete the course for Matty Holtz at 283 in the competition. 284, our attention to the camp will be Brendan Fitzgerald with Brendan Ted, 285 Philip Collins, and 286 Ben Maidham. Scores have qualified for Matty Holtz. Shakira's tapping in. It is 22 points for cutout, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for course. Today it's an 88.33. Yesterday it was an 89.66. Gives him a grand 2-round total score of 178 points. We're watching from Roma, Brendan Fitzgerald, Brenwan Ted. Nominated by Brendan himself, competing as one of our Queenslanders. And of course, don't forget the big State of Origin camp drafting, always a fun afternoon. That's Saturday afternoon, of course, always an action-packed afternoon, that State of Origin camp drafting. It takes place around about 4 o'clock on Saturday evening. Brendan Fitzgerald's score comes through today. It was at 21 points for the camp, 62.33 for horsework, 4 for course, 87.33 today for Brendan Fitzgerald. Yesterday it was a camp score of 16 only, gives us a 2-round score of 103.33. Into the camp, it is contestant 285 from Bombala this time. It'll be Philip Collins' nomination, Clover Spin. At the gate, we want Ben Maidham to be ready with Bonfire Jovi. Troy Palmer, 287. 288 will be Brett Staines with Mumbula. Barracuda, not that far away. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got them back on track once again. We are getting ready to go with contestant 286. This will be Ben Maidham. Ben joins us from Bective on the western side of Tamworth. Alrighty, Terry Wickham's nomination, Bonfire Jovi. He'll be followed by 287, Troy Palmer's back. 288 will be Brett Staines, and 289 will be Scott Bandy. Okay, on camp, we're watching as the gates fly back. It's Ben Maidham into the main arena, riding Bonfire Jovi. This is Terry Wickham's nomination. Ben has been another high-profile Australian camp drafting competitor for many, many years. He'll be followed in this round of the competition by Troy Palmer, Willinga Park Impressive Rebel. Well, we had a camp score today for Ben Maidem and Bonfire Jovi. We had a camp score of 20.67. Had a first rounder yesterday of 80.33. Grand total of 101. Looking down the list of competitors. Our next contestant we see and welcome back to the camp on this occasion. Representing the Binia Performance Horses, this is Willinga Park Impressive Rebel. From Coleridge, Troy Palmer in the saddle, 287. At 288 at the gate will be Brett Staines, 289 Scott Bandy, and 290 we see Brent Trotter back in the camp. We're watching on course Willinga Park Impressive Rebel and Troy Palmer. As we look down to the camp, we'll see coming in next will be Brett Staines with Mumbula Barracuda. And it's a full course on that occasion. Willinga Park Impressive Rebel, Troy Palmer. Competitor number 287 in our second round of the Ringers Western Wear Gold Buckle Campdrafting competition here at Willinga Park. Scores are coming through for Troy Palmer. It is a camp score of 16, 60.33 for horsework, 4 for course. Today it's an 80.33. Well, Mr. Consistent was the same yesterday in the first round. 80.33 for a grand total 2 days, 160.67. We looked at 288. Brett Staines on course here this afternoon. And Brett joins us from Leeton, riding Mick Ottom's nomination. Mumbula Barracuda. Into the camp we will require Scott Bandy, the ranch for X Gold. Brent Trotter at 290 and 291. Time. Okay, we'll have the scores through for our previous competitor in the competition. That was indeed Brett Staines with Mumbula Barracuda. 21 points for camp, 59.67 for horsework, 4 for course. Today it's an 84.67. Yesterday it was a 16.33 for camp, 101 in total for Brett Staines and Mumbula Barracuda. 289 in the camp. We welcome back 289 Scott Bandy. Scott here this afternoon joins us from Toomer, riding his son's horse Travis Bandy, the ranch 4X Gold. Be followed on at the gate with Brent Trotter. 291 will be Kenny L. Beaches will be following on with Stylish Candy. Zane Haberman with Stylish Swift and Matthew Moffat with 293. We're watching on the course at this point of time. We're watching Scott Bandy in action. Tuma riding the Ranch 4X Gold. 290 into the camp. We want Brent Trotter next. Kenny L. Beachers to be ready, please, with Stylish Candy. That is the time and full course on that occasion for Scott Bendy riding the Ranch 4X Gold. Scores have come through for Scott Bandy. We had a camp score of 16.33, 57.67 for horsework, 4 for course, 78 points today. Had us 88-point score in the first round. That's a 166. Well, unfortunately, that was Brent Trotter. He was on retreat, and we've got a score of 21 in the camp. Had a score of 20.67 yesterday, grand total of 41.67. We look down at the list of competitors in the camp at this stage. We have 291. This is Kenny L. Beachers. Stylish Candy makes a home in Mafra. Just a special reminder, anybody that may have stallions on the ground that would like to enter the stallion draft, the stallion jackpot camp drafting, you have around about 20 minutes. You've got to be there by 3 o'clock. Of course, Lauren's here at the Secretary's office. She would be more than happy to take that nomination fee of $250. 100% of the nomination prize will be put back into prize money. I'll be paying out the top 3 place getters. It will be staged tomorrow at the completion of the ladies' presentation. That is on Friday. So make sure you've got 20 minutes to get those stallion draft nominations in. We also do require the horse and rider profiles for that stallion draft. Boy, we're watching on course as we speak. Kenny L. Beachers riding a little nomination called Stylish Candy. We've got a camp score today of 22.33 for Kenny L. Beachers with Stylish Candy, 22.33. Had a yesterday score of 82.66. Gives us a grand total over 2 days of 105. Zane Haberman, 292 with Stylish Swift on the camp. Matt Moffat with Travel Light, 293 at the gate. And Hugh Miles with More Spoonful, 294. Russo Dell will be back with 295 and Metallic Silver. Okay, contestant we're watching this time on course. This time will be Zane Haberman. Joins us from Springshaw. Zane's nomination, Stylish Swift in action. He will be followed in the camp. We'll look down to 293, Matthew Moffat. And 294 at the gate will be Hugh Miles. And completes the course once again here this afternoon. That was Stylish Swift. Zane Haberman. It's great to have Zane down all the way from Springshaw in central North Queensland. Scores are coming through. We double check and check the numbers as they are. 22.33 for camp. 64 points for horsework. 4 for course. Gives Zane Haberman and Starley Swift 90.33 today. Had a camp score yesterday of 21.67. Grand total of 112 over the 2 rounds, 112. Watching on course, 293 in the competition, Matthew Moffat, Travel Light. Into the camp, we want 294, will be Hugh Miles with More Spoonful. 295, not that far off, is Bruce O'Dell with Metallic Silver. Time. That was contestant 293, Matthew Moffat, Travel Light. Into the camp we have got before us here this afternoon, time 94 will be Hugh Miles. Score for Travel Light, Matthew Moffat is 23 points for camp, 51 points for horsework, 3 for course. Today it's a 77. Yesterday it was an 86. It's a 163 over the 2 rounds, 163. 294 in your catalogue. We are watching More Spoonful. Hugh Miles in the saddle. This is Peter Doonan's nomination. Hugh makes his home up there in the head of the Peel River on the Tamworth outskirts. He's been a long-time supporter of the Willinga Gold Buckle Campdrafting Championship. We need into the camp our next competitor, 295, Bruce O'Dell, Metallic Silver. 296, Ben Hall, not that far off. 297, Dave Cochran. 298 will be Dennis Hawkins. And that'll complete the run on that occasion. It was indeed on course, Hugh Miles with More Spoonful, 294. Scores are coming through for More Spoonful. It is a camp score of 16.67, 58.33 for horsework, 4 for course. Today it was a 79 for Hugh Miles and More Spoonful. Yesterday it was a 69.33. It's a grand total of 148.33 for Hugh Miles. We are watching on course as we speak. This is 295, Bruce O'Dell, Metallic Silver. 296, we'll have Ben Hall with Hall's El Torrio. And it is, once again, a full course on that occasion. 295, Bruce O'Dell, Metallic Silver. Okay, scores are coming through for Bruce O'Dell. 21.67 for camp, 61.67 for horsework, 4 for course. Today, Bruce, we've got a score for you in Metallic Silver of 87.34. Had a camp score yesterday of 22, gives us a grand total today of 109.33. Moving right along to our next contestant, we will have on the camp will be 296 Ben Hall with Hall's El Torrio. 297 David Cochran. 298 is a scratching. So we'll go to 299. It'll be Vicky Evans with Tallawah Classic Acres. And our contestant down this weekend from Julia Creek, it is Ben Hall in action, as he has on so many times, supporting us here this weekend at Willinga Park. Ben, always renowned for bringing a semi-load of horses down for this weekend. That was 296. 297 into the camp will be David Cochran with Frozen Acres. 298 to scratching. 299, we want Vicky Evans to be on standby, please. Scores are now through for Ben Hall. We've got a 22.33 for Cam, 63.67 for Horsework, 4 for Course. Today's score, it's a 90-point round. 90 points in this division. 22 yesterday in the opening section. A grand total of 112. 112. Okay, let's turn our attention down to our next contestant. David Cochran will be in action at 297. David joins us from Adamidami. This is his nomination, Frozen Acres. Only a couple to go. We'll rework the arena, get conditions in order. We'll have a change of cattle and be back with David Murphy. I should say it'll be 300. Then we'll take that break. It'll be Dana Shea will be 301. She'll be first after the break here this afternoon. Well, we're watching on course and in the main arena here this afternoon, contestant 297. David Cochran with Frozen Acres. Well, there will indeed be a camp score and a camp score only for David. And as competitor 297 riding Frozen Acres. We've got a camp score of 22. Had a first rounder yesterday of 72.33. Gives us the grand total here over the 2 rounds in the Ringers Western Wear Gold Buckle Campdrafting Championship. 94.33. 94.33. Just got to change cattle here. We'll have the last couple of competitors underway in this division of our competition. And a very special thanks to Willinga Park. Would like to support their partners, Ringers Western Wear. Ringers Western was formed in the rugged Kimberley region of Western Australia in 2012. The Ringers Western will always be inspired by its roots. Like a ringer, Ringers Western with its grassroots simplicity, high standards of design and quality. It is tough, adaptable, sometimes cheeky, but offers you class and loyalty. This basis of the grassroots simplicity, high standard of design and quality sets Ringers Western Wear way ahead of the mob. They are our major naming rights sponsors of our 2024 Gold Buckle Campdrafting here at Willinga. 2 to go in this section. I do believe 2 to go in this division. First of those competitors in the camp we are watching on this occasion will be Vicky Evans. Vicky joins us from Nabiac on the mid-north coast of New South Wales. She's riding Tallawah Classic Acres. She'll be followed in the camp by 300. It'll be David Murphy with mobile price tag Hash. Is that hashtag or something? Okay, on course this time we're watching Vicky Evans in action. She is competitor 299 in your catalogue. Part of the 368 competitors competing here on day number 2 of the Gold Buckle Willinga Campdrafting competition. Well, unfortunately for Vicky, it'll be a camp score and a camp score only in this round of our competition. A camp score here today of 16.33, 16.33. One final contestant before we work the arena. This will be David Murphy. David Murphy's nomination, this is Mobile Price Tag. Makes his home at Talbot. A contestant number 300 in this round of our competition. And that is the whip in the background there for our contestant David Murphy with Mobile Price Tag. Well, we'll have the scores through for him very, very shortly. Of course, we're going to have a arena director come in. Of course, we do thank Wayne McDonald and his surface management crew. They're doing a magnificent job over the course of the 4 days here at Willinga. Wayne's been a part of this event for many, many years. Scores have just come through for David Murphy with Mobile Price Tag. We've got a camp score of 18.33. 56 points for horsework, 3 for course. Today it's a 77.33 with a first round score of 88.67, a grand total of 166. And a very special thanks to our judges and officials here this weekend. They're going to take a short break as they truly deserve. That'll be Wayne Smith from Tamworth, David Reeder from Gameri, and Tom Williamson from Glen is doing an amazing job over the course of the 4 days to determine our winners and place getters. And of course, tomorrow morning we'll be looking for our semi-finalists in this round of the competition. And just a very quick update on our progressive leaders going into the semi-finals. Of course, we've still got another 68 competitors yet to go here this afternoon. But boy, Matty Moffat, what a weekend he's having. He leads the competition with JMD Fascinator, 182.67. His name again appears at number 2, Matt Moffat. Snapchat, 181.67, sits second. Then it's Rowan Marks, slides into third with a 181. But Matty Moffat, boy, he's 3 out of the top 4. Matty Moffat sits at 4th with She Be a Cat, 180.33. Well, there they are, folks. They are the top 4 ranked competitors at this stage with 68 more competitors yet to run here this afternoon. We'll take a short break. We'll be back in around about 15 minutes once that arena has been brought up to specifications, and we'll be back with the final 68 competitors.